This episode is brought to you by certified real estate agent Adele Gomez of eXp Realty. Adele is a veteran educator and is passionate about helping her community grow. Let Adele help you find your new real estate. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait.
You want me to put it on the fan?
It's a little warm now.
Well, because you're
Is
right
it
over there by
just
the
me?
lights. All them bulbs over there on you. I can put the fan on you. You want it on?
No, I'm okay.
You sure?
I think so.
Let me know if you change your mind.
Are you hot or are you okay?
I don't know.
How do you know? Did you call your mom?
No. Chances are she probably didn't have her cell phone in her hand.
She's so funny. Okay. Let's do our next story.
I don't know if one of the slice of pizza or not.
I know, I'm like, am I hungry? I can't eat anymore. I think that ice cream overdid me.
Did you finish it?
Almost all of it.
I finished. Mine melted, so I went ahead.
I know, mine melted too, so I'm kind of like, it's too much milk for me. I'm supposed to be lactose intolerant.
Are you trying to figure out if you are or not?
No, I know I am.
I'm supposed to be lactose intolerant. You dork. Why'd you let me take blizzards then?
Oh, I'll eat it. Don't worry. That's the problem. Okay. So this story, we're going to have to go back. So 2000, well, it's going to start, well, it's going to be 2003 is when it happened. But okay, so it's late 2002, and a 23-year-old Liza Ochoa was high on heroin. She didn't work, she had no source of income, and worst of all, could not take care of her 3 children. Liza had been on her own since her boyfriend and father of her children had been convicted of murdering his own relatives in a gang attack back in 2000. She was 19, pregnant at the time with her youngest child, Jovonie Ochoa, when his father was first arrested. Jovonie would go on to be born September 1st, 1999. He was a small baby, had to spend some time in the hospital, but would grow to be a healthy boy. From the start of his life, he was born into a broken home, poverty, and a family that was not fully ready to take on more children. His mother, Liza Ochoa, struggled to make ends meet, collected welfare, and had government-assisted living. In 2002, she would eventually move in with Maria PALACIOS, who was the mom of Domingo Escueda, the baby daddy. While he is locked up for murder, his mom decides to step up and say, hey, I'll help you with the kids. Because by the time 2003 came, Liza was a hardcore heroin user. Liza would openly admit in court later on that she could no longer care for her children. By 2002, Maria Escueda Palacios, Maria Palacios' 21-year-old daughter, would be the one to make the first CPS reports on Liza Ochoa for her concern over Liza's 3 children. Child Protective Services would finally get involved with the family. However, according to records, 2 investigations were open and closed due to insufficient evidence being found of abuse or neglect, since the children were residing with relatives and their basic needs were being met. A 3rd investigation was closed because a caseworker couldn't actually physically locate Liza Ochoa when she would do home visits. So again, you have to remember this is 2002, 2003. I don't think CPS and Department of Family Services
They should have been better
as
then.
equipped as they maybe are now, but that's my 2 cents in that. By 2003, Liza had basically left her 3 children with Maria Palacios, which was the paternal grandmother. Maria lived on the city's west side in a single family dwelling. However, this home was already very crowded. Okay, so you're going to have to count how many people I'm about to list so we know how many people are actually in this house, okay? So there was 4-year-old Jovonie, his 2 sisters who were 5 and 6-year-old, Palacios' husband Juan, and then 2 of her own grown children, 19-year-old Geronimo Escueda and 25-year-old Dolores Escueda, and then 4 of Dolores' own children. So that should be 11 people.
Well, 12 counting Maria and Liza.
Well, Liza didn't really live there.
But she'd be there.
She'd be there every now and then.
So I'm counting her.
Okay. That's fair.
Because you said it's
a
single home?
Yes.
1 bedroom, 1 bathroom home?
Well, I maybe 2 bedrooms, maybe 3 bedrooms.
Okay. She sat down somewhere when she was there. So it's 12.
Remember our story we did on Nightmare on Shipping Drive?
With the kids in the backyard? Okay.
It's the exact same vibes. The exact same vibes. I'm telling you right now. When I was...
So I shouldn't be on Maria's side right now?
No. Exactly. I mean, to the T. I'm like, wait a minute. Where have I heard this story before? This is eerily similar.
So why is Maria opening her door?
When you got that many people and children in a small environment, it's not going to be good. And just like in Nightmare on Shipping Drive, the actual mother of these children is nowhere to be found. Leaving her 3 children in the care of adults,
In defense, though, Liza, she's a drug addict.
Right. She's a heroin.
She ain't there.
She ain't there. No, she's
not.
not.
The other lady didn't have an excuse because she took one of the kids with her. She left 2 of them.
You're right. You're right.
It's the same situation because she was trying to take the easy way out.
She might have. I mean, she might intentionally. Might have been her intention in the beginning, but that when you're overwhelmed and you got 7 kids in a home with 4 other adults.
If I'm living in an efficiency that's already full, why would I bring in smaller people?
Food might have been scarce in the house.
Might.
Jovonie would have been too young to attend school, and he would slowly rely on the adults in his life to care for him. At the last documented doctor visit, he weighed 26 pounds, and he was 4. So according to the Kids Health Online, a 4-year-old should weigh anywhere between 30 to 40 pounds on average. Now, this also depends on the height. If you have a child who's just naturally smaller, they're going to weigh less.
Yeah.
So doctors weren't like, okay, alarms are going off, but it was like
he wasn't 10 pounds at 4 years old,
right? So. But it was like, hey, you need to make sure he needs to put more weight on. Unfortunately, not much would change because by the time the end of 2003 came, it became a more dire emergency for little Jovonie. Jovonie would receive very little to no care, hygiene, and help. From court testimony and from her own daughter, Maria Escueda Palacios, stated that her mom would often duct tape Jovonie's hands, feet, and mouth. She would say in court that she tried to convince her mother not to use...
The daughter called CPS on the kid's mother, but she's admitting that her own mother, but she didn't call CPS on her.
Right.
Okay, just try and make sure I'm following the path.
You got it. She would say in court that she tried to convince her mother not to duct tape the boy, but it was to no avail.
If she can't buy enough food, then she can't go out and buy any more duct tape, so hide the duct tape. Take it.
Jovonie was often kept in a room and on top of a bunk bed. He was not allowed out and often there for times on end. He was already skinny, but by the time the end of the year came, he weighed a mere 16 pounds. So he lost 10 pounds from the time of his last doctor visit to 9 months later wearing 18 pounds. So Maria Escueda Palacios, the daughter, would report that the family would tell her that Jovonie was sick and that he would be resting and would hardly come out of his room. She would also go on and testify that Liza Ochoa was stopping by from time to time to see her children, but never offered care or any support. Again, I understand Liza's on drugs and all this stuff, but she would still stop by. She was still there. She was still checking in on the kids. She was still showing up. So flash forward to Christmas Eve, 2003. As the large family is happy celebrating, eating good food, yummy desserts, and just overall enjoying life, little Jovonie could no longer get up or move. He was so weak and sick that is how his family treated him. Not one person in that household or anyone that was aware of the situation of that household did nothing.
But why just the one out of the 11 people that lived there?
They did not attempt to take him to the doctor, feed him, care for him, nothing.
Were the other two by the same dad?
Yes.
I'm reaching here. I'm trying to figure out were they treating this poor baby by himself.
I don't know if it's because he was the youngest.
Because it's not because he was a boy, because he had a brother and a sister.
He had 2 sisters.
So could it be because he was a boy?
I mean, but normally, boys are treated in the Mexican household like kings. I don't know if it's because he was the youngest and that was just an extra mouth you had to feed and take care of, and he was the easiest
his
to...
grandmother by the dad.
Right.
Maybe he looked like the dad, and she looked at him as a reminder of him, and she treated him that way. Like, there's a... Why she sought after him. There's gotta be something.
Christmas Eve. By Christmas Day, Jovonie would not live to see Christmas Day. Jovonie Ochoa would pass away alone on that top bunk of the bed in that dark room, all by himself, by December 25th, 2003.
And when did they find him?
They found him that morning. Jovonie's relatives would discover his unresponsive body and call 911. Jovonie would be taken to the Methodist Children's Hospital. Here, medical professionals knew immediately after seeing his body that this was indeed intentional and cruel abuse of a child. Many doctors reported that this was the worst abuse they had seen, including the fact that he looked like a skeleton with bruises and scabs all over his body. It was apparent from marks on his body that he had been tied up often and was lying on his back quite frequently. SAPD homicide detective Alfred Damiani was assigned to the case. He is actually the same detective that worked Jovonie's father's criminal case back in 1999. Isn't that crazy? He actually had interviewed the whole family before during that case, including the pregnant Liza Ochoa, who she was pregnant with Jovonie at the time. He would take the case and was responsible for once again interviewing the whole family, getting information from medical experts. A few weeks after 2004 came, the DA's office would be able to bring charges to those responsible. Liza Ochoa would be initially charged with abandonment and endangering a child. Even though she was not present or actually involved in her child's death, the DA and investigators wanted her to face just as much responsibility as the other adults. Jovonie's aunt and another adult living in the home, Dolores Escueta, who had 4 children of her own, was also charged, along with her brother, Geronimo Escueta, the 19-year-old uncle. Maria Palacios, the grandmother, was charged with knowingly endangering and causing abuse. The only adult in the house that wasn't charged was Juan Palacios, who was his step-grandfather.
But it was there.
I know. Unless he said he's working all the time and he didn't know what was going on.
Oh,
here we go.
I heard that before. I work late.
News of the 4-year-old's death reached the news, and many community members were outraged on the severity of abuse and neglect. All 4 adults would eventually be tried separately, and various charges and plea deals were taken. The first one, and the one that really mattered the most, was the paternal grandmother, Maria Palacios, who would actually be the one to have the harshest punishment on her. She was charged with injury to a child and unlawful restraint. The medical examiner would testify that Jovonie had starved for a month or longer, where he lost the little weight he had. But also he had bruises on his body, marks from the duct tape, which is why the unlawful restraint charge was put on her. Palacios would go on trial and try to claim that Jovonie was dropped off of her house the night before he died, and that she was too frightened to seek medical help for him. Of course, none of that was true, and Liza Ochoa would testify in their case, confessing to her drug problems and that she had left the kids with their paternal grandmother. Other family members would also testify along with medical experts. The jury would only take 3 hours to deliberate and find her guilty. She would go on and be sentenced to life in prison for injury to a child and 10 years for unlawful restraint. 68-year-old Maria Palacios is currently held at the O'Daniel facility in Gatesville. And according to her TDCJ file, she is eligible for parole in 2034. If she makes parole, she will be in her 70s, and if not, then she will most likely die in prison. So after this trial, it didn't play out like they had wanted. And the family, seeing that she was sentenced to life, everyone else charged started to take plea deals. So 20-year-old Geronimo Esqueda, Giovanni's uncle, would take a plea down and is charged for injury to a child. He would be sentenced to 10 years in prison. So obviously he's already out. According to Bexar County records, he was arrested again in 2024 for DWI charges, but didn't stick. He never actually went to trial. He is out. I found him on Facebook, and he seems like he is living a happy life. Next was Dolores Esqueda, his older sister. She was charged with the intentional assault of a child. She, of course, took a plea deal as well and was also sentenced to 10 years in prison. Dolores was released a little early and was out by 2013. I couldn't find her anywhere on social media, but I'm sure she's there. And the next would be the mother, Liza Ochoa, mom of Jovonie. Again, many wanted her to be the prime suspect and receive all the punishment, but this would not be the case. In fact, she would actually be the one that would see the least amount of jail time, because she wasn't technically there, so how could she be responsible? The only charge that would stick for her would be child endangerment, so she would plead guilty and was sentenced to 2 years. She would only serve part of that and was released. She was arrested in 2013 for a DWI, where she again took a plea deal and only spent 45 days in jail. I couldn't find her on social media either, but I'm sure she's out there somewhere. The 2 other children, the 2 older sisters that were with Jovonie, or the other 4 children that were in the house, there was no signs of abuse, there was no signs of neglect, and they all seemed to be taken care of just well. It was really hard to find information on this case because it was kind of an older case. So of course there's no internet, there's no social media back then. It wasn't like it was posted all over the place back in 2003.
I mean, there was internet.
There was internet, but still it was very
MySpace.
it was very shoddy. But the information I did find, which just, it was just very, everywhere it was like, oh, this is such a horrible case, how did this happen, where was CPS? And still to this day, there's been 0 changes. Child Protective Services went on to defend their actions, saying, well, these people, they were trained, they followed the procedure, they did what they did. There was no further signs. We didn't, there was no need to follow up.
Why do they have to look outside the house for blame?
There have been several government officials, representatives, state senators who have said, oh, we need changes in Department of Family and Health Services. We need changes in CPS. We need da-da-da-da. Where is it? Where's that change?
I don't think there needs to be changes in CPS. I mean, everything needs to be updated as time goes on. But again, why are they looking for something to blame outside the house? Like, you only have CPS because people aren't doing what they're supposed to do in the home. Like, it starts at the home. So again, I look at the whole, a village is supposed to raise. Like, if they're in a house and you see a lot of traffic going on inside of a house and it's all these people living there, you're like, do those people live there? Are those kids there? Like, is everybody okay? Like, you would ask some questions about all that's living in that house. And then her line of, he just came the day before Christmas. Would you accept him looking like that into your house when everybody else is looking kind of plump? Like, why are you allowing her to drop off the kid looking like that? Or you're claiming that she just left him on the doorstep or something like that. Like, I don't know. Like, what was her intent of taking 2 but not the 3?
And then if you look like that, you're just gonna let him die? Like,
but you said she was fearful.
You were fearful? Why are you fearful?
What? You didn't do it.
You have nothing to hide. You shouldn't be fearful. Like,
and all in the house should be responsible for it. Like, if you see that she's putting duct tape on his mouth.
And that's the thing I don't understand is
why
didn't someone step up? And I know the daughter ended up, like, I know she called CPS. I know she ended up testifying against her family later on. But it's like, why didn't you take him with you? Why didn't you say, I can't just leave him here? He's got, like, this is not right.
She's going to kidnap him.
Let me take him with me. I'll go drop him off.
She probably wouldn't let her.
I mean, I'm sure
That's what I'm
that
saying.
too,
She
but I
needed she
mean, there
needed to
could have
kidnap
been
him.
so many other things. I would have been like, I would have called 911 and said, hey, I can't leave here until someone does a welfare check and comes sees us. This is not right.
Oh, if you can call CPS
And you can
on
do
the
it
mom.
anonymously. You don't
Yeah,
even
you could
have
have called
to.
CPS on the house.
And just say, hey, I walked in and this is what I saw. You were going to testify anyways. You ended up testifying against your whole family anyways.
And I'm sure she saw him taped and gagged more than once.
Well, yeah, because she told her not to do it.
And I'm guessing she had to put tape on his mouth because he was screaming and crying. So again, somebody should have heard something. It's senseless. Not like when you commit a crime, you didn't have a grand reason behind it.
Right, no, but she never
pick...
gave a reason. And there was never, she never...
Well, nobody in that house ever gave a reason.
Nobody.
Like, were they fearful of Maria?
I mean,
she wasn't Mother Teresa.
Her son was, a murderer. I mean, who knows?
Is she part of the mafia or something? I mean, are they now cellmates? Like, why 11 people, 10 against 1? Why was that one child, the smallest one in the whole house, targeted?
I don't know, maybe she didn't like the mom, but
then every time I come to visit my kids, I always can't see the youngest one. Every time.
But then the mom's on drugs, and it's like, does she even know she has kids? You know what I mean? I'm like, is she visiting?
When are you gonna get off the drugs?
Is she visiting during her downtimes? Is she visiting when she's not high? Is she visiting when she is high because now she wants to?
Is she sure she was visiting because she was high?
I mean,
maybe she thought she wanted to go over there and see him, and she thought she was going over there.
But people saw her, come and go and visit every now and then,
and people also knew that she had 3 kids and only saw 2 of them.
I don't know where the breakdown was in this. It was all the adults, obviously. And it pisses me off that these people are out living their lives.
Well, they're innocent. If they were to live a life of guilt, then there would be more reason for them to go back in. I don't know.
I'm like,
you get a free ride if you go in.
And some of these people, like when I was trying to be nosy and look these people up on social media and stuff, and then I'm seeing their stuff, and I'm like,
I mean, it wasn't their kid.
It don't matter. You're an adult in that house. You were just as responsible. I would be just as responsible. I couldn't just look away and say, oh, that's not my kid. Sorry. Like, no, and that's your mother doing that. I mean, did your mother do that to you when you were little? Is that why this is all okay? And this was the environment that you grew up in?
If you speak, you can't come over and get this stuff. Can you imagine that poor baby and sitting in the house smelling the food?
Oh my God. On Christmas Eve of all day.
Just any regular particular day. Like, he probably didn't know what Christmas was because the whole time that he lived there, he didn't get to celebrate anything. And was he in the only room in the house?
I mean, he was in a bedroom, which I'm sure the other kids slept in because he was in a bunk bed.
So where did everybody else sleep? Because it wasn't a mansion, and it didn't have 5 bedrooms in there.
I don't know if they all had bunk beds.
Are they just, when it came time to sleep, they all left them with somewhere else?
Sleeping on the couch, sleeping on a pull-out, sleeping on a blow-up mattress.
It's just senseless. Like, even if they had a reason, it wouldn't be a reason. You got a picture of Maria? Because if Maria is round, that just makes it even worse. Because you just sitting there eating what he could have had. You could have gave him scraps.
Yeah.
You said they had pets too?
No, they didn't have pets.
I was about to say. But
I don't know.
Why would you fit your mouth to say, leave the kids here with me? Why? And when was Liza, I want to feel like I'm going to say her name wrong. When was she coherent enough for you to go and talk to her and say, leave the kids here with me? Or she was just like, here, can you take the kids?
Right. She probably was just like, here.
You didn't have any other options because they were already of age to a point where they were with you. Why didn't you just keep them?
Because she couldn't. She was a drug addict. She'd rather go.
She had them for 2 or 3 years of their life already. They weren't right out the womb when she left them.
I think she chose drugs over her kids.
And that's fine. because for whatever
But
reason
then, like,
people do that.
CPS is asking, they're coming, then just give them to CPS.
Yeah, you dropped them off. You could have put well, I can't say up for adoption. They could have left them at the firehouse or whatever.
No,
but you left them in a
CPS.
place that did not have room for them.
Give them to CPS.
How is that a better option? Just because they're family. Like, you can't always just give people their family, because family you just can't trust all the time, obviously.
It just blows my mind. And it blows my mind that...
And how are the siblings okay with this? I would have been putting food in my underwear or something to sneak in them food at nighttime.
They were 5 and 6, so they were only,
I see 5 and 6 year olds. They know how to steal
and I don't,
stuff.
I mean, but I don't know. I don't know how that house and the dynamic was. I don't. And then the fact that they're telling everyone in that he was sick. And everyone's like, what? He was sick.
But how do you not want to see your siblings? Sick or not sick? There was a lot of threats going on in that house.
I'm sure there was.
Because the 5 and 6, you're aware that Jovonie existed.
Well, I think about the 19 and 25-year-old. I'm like...
But I mean, they're not the sibling.
Still, that's...
Well, I'm on the sibling side of it, because whatever was going on in that household before those 3 kids entered was already established.
Right.
So everybody that was of age already knew what was going down.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's like, oh, okay, well, we got these 3 here. Grandma said this was going to happen. They were like, okay. The least we say, the least that we're involved, if something happens, we won't get in trouble for it. Is what they were thinking. So I'm sure they...
And maybe that's why her husband didn't get in trouble, because maybe he really didn't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
He would have to know.
And all it takes is a call. Anonymous
Not
call.
even, but I mean, he would have to know, because they existed before she dropped those kids off. So whenever he was around when old dude got locked up for the murder and stuff. So he knew. He knew that she had 3 kids. Mm-hmm. So he had to have known that the 3 were dropped off. Or even ask, well, why should you just leave 2 and not 1? And again, what's that in the background? Oh, nothing.
Where's all this duct tape coming from?
I know. So what kind of stuff are you into? Oh, no, I'm just fixing the bunk bed.
Like, what?
So, yeah, he knew. I'm assuming that he only didn't get anything because he was step. So he didn't have any, like, direct responsibility as family would.
Right.
But that's like saying a stepdad, well, I'm not in the will, or I'm not paying rent. If I burn down the house, I'm not responsible for it because it's not really mine. That's why I'm not going to say, like, those that are supposed to protect and service, that they're not doing a good job, but I got to be doing a good job first before I have to go out to them to pick up my slack. If I'm not doing anything and there's a whole bunch of slack to pick up, I might get them on a bad day. Where they're just like, gotta fill this quota, let me just check off some boxes and see what happens.
I just wish, like, people would know, and I think that's why I wanted to do it. And then learning that all these people have been out and they're living their lives and they're getting DWI charges and they're doing this and doing that. And it's like, do you not have a conscience? Like, are you not like, you know what, I got out of jail, I need to turn my life around because...
Well, it's like the half glass full empty situation. They probably aren't living the life like we see because they're probably guilty and they're forcing themselves to go out there and be like, it's okay, I can go out here and I can do this, and it's okay, I didn't take his life, I didn't do it, so it's all right that I'm out here doing this. But every time they're out there, they could see his face, you know, like he probably is haunting them with the idea like they're never going to be able to escape what happened.
I hope so.
How can they? Because, I mean, Liza might be doing better than them if they're able to block that out like it didn't exist. And I'm surprised they found him as fast as they did. And if the kids were sleeping in the same room, I bet you the kids found him first.
Oh, I'm sure.
But, I mean, what would compel them to go in there and be like, oh, is he?
I'm sure they checked in the morning.
It's time to change the
something.
tape.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then again, I don't know what they thought was going to happen. Like, they thought he was just going to. I don't know.
They knew what was going to happen. What happens if you don't eat after a few days? It might take me longer because I got a lot more to lose than him.
But you would think, oh, that would be like, I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure the room didn't smell nice. So he was just living in that. And I can imagine if they tied him to the bunk bed or whatever, the back of his head probably didn't have hair. It was deformed. And
I think that's like what the medical examiner had found.
And each time she had to tie tighter on his arms because they'd get smaller.
Mm-hmm.
It was something spiteful that she was doing. I don't know if it was towards her son or towards her daughter-in-law. Yeah, like she has. I mean, only she will know because she's not gonna tell nobody.
No, and that's the thing. And then for her to deny it and then not even be like, yeah.
Why not own up to the crap that you did? You did it. Aren't you proud of what you were doing? Because you did it repeatedly day after day.
So that's the slow story of Jovonie Ochoa. It still haunts San Antonio to this day, but nothing has changed. Nothing has come out of it. I mean, obviously, we just the other story that was like so similar to this, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm sure there's another case that's gonna come out just like this, where somebody's watching somebody's kid and they're not taking care of them. History repeats itself, unfortunately, and I'm sure this is going to be another type of story.
Does it repeat itself?
That we will hear again.
Because in order for something to repeat, it ended.
Well, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
And going. And going.
That's what I would say. Like, we don't.
And if you're dropping your kids off with relatives or somebody because you can't take care of them, you're going to face jail time too. It may not be as much, but you will face jail time too.
Realize you can't take care of your kids after the first one. Don't have more.
And if you're on drugs and you're doing that, just call CPS. Call CPS and just have them take your kids. Don't even. Just call CPS. Like,
when you give birth, leave them at the hospital. So you can't take it.
You can drop them off up to 6 weeks at the fire department, police station, hospital.
It's always that split second when you have choices that you can. If I had, I don't know how many times can we say it doesn't make any sense?
It doesn't.
It should be shocking that when you take primary colors and mix them together, you come up with other colors. That's something that's shocking that you can't explain. You're just like, oh, how's that happen? Or why is the sky blue? Why is the grass green? And it's because the sun's reflecting off of this way, and then you see only half a rainbow. And there's never a pot of gold at the end because you can never find it. Like those things. Those things don't have answers. Why do we have so many? I like what we do.
I do too.
And it's a topic that we won't stop on because we have so many of these type of stories. But why do we have so many types of these stories? And it's not so much as that the situation repeats itself. It's the people.
And I thought it was so interesting that the same detective was working this case 5 years later, 4 years later, not even.
He needs to look at that and see why is it him.
And he said in his report with the SA Express, like it was like. He's like, it's like deja vu. Like I interviewed his mom when she was pregnant with him, when his father decided to murder his cousin. Like I mean,
like you said earlier, things happen for a reason. He needs to look at that and see what
he's
is that connection?
He's
to
retired
somebody?
now, and
Oh, you
he's.
can still look.
I know.
You still want to know why the sky is blue and the grass is green.
I mean, if I was him, I would have quit that next day. Are you kidding me? I would be like, fuck this. I ain't doing this bullshit.
Because it's funny how you and I may have learned how to add 2 plus 2 and divide 5 by 35 the same way. But now they come up with the same answer, but the pathway to get to that answer is different.
Mm-hmm.
So school, education, that's forever changing and never making sense, but it's forever changing. There's you start off and it's round and you push it and they call it a wheel, but they still want to try to do something different. You're still going to push it, it's going to be a wheel, but they want to do something different. But this stuff here, like I said, it's not changing because it's not changing because there's no changes.
Yeah, and I think I just also, it's like, I'm tired. I don't want to hear in the news about changes need to be made and that this was a horrible story and we're remembering him, 20 years later. It's like, no, we're not remembering him 20 years later because y'all haven't done a damn thing to change anything. And
I know, I hate when they do that.
And, we can sit here and we can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but guess what? Those family members are out and living their life and there's no consequences. And this little boy died literally by himself in a dark room on the top of a fucking bunk bed, like a 4-year-old.
I'm gonna say God was there with him, so I'm not gonna say it was by himself.
Well, I believe that too, but a 4-year-old. I mean, a 4-year-old, a baby. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. So we shall see if Maria Palacios is granted parole in 2034. That is when she would be up for it.
I might not even be around for that.
Which, I mean, it's only, what, 9 years away? 11 years away? 10 years away? Whatever. 9 years away.
I can't actually.
And if she doesn't make parole, then she will definitely die in prison. Which I hope she does. And I hope prison has been fucking hell for her.
I don't know, man. I might be in hell. I'm like, hold on, Satan. I need to get this woman.
I'm
already here. I can do what I want. They gonna mess around and say their name.
I really hope.
That name. Come here.
I really hope she has gotten what is hers in prison because she deserves every last bit of it.
Can we go back to the wells?
Oh, speaking of wells, did you see
the birthday?
The birthday, Takara's birthday, but
yeah.
They lost a well.
No,
did you see that? Her daughter died. Maybe last month. I think she passed away. So now there's only 4. No.
Thank you for listening to our story today. And remember, True 10 is brought to you by you, our listeners and supporters. You can follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and join us on Facebook. And remember, stay safe, San Antonio.